Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin. I'm the author of the new book, Twin Flame Romance, The Journey to Unconditional Love, available in paperback, Kindle, and Audible books. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for subscribing below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and please give the video a thumbs up. I do readings. I do 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. Twin Flame, Romance, Life Path and Purpose, general readings. You can go to my website, fondinwellness.com, to book. This week we're doing donations because it's during quarantine time. A lot of charities are having a real big struggle. So this week, donations are going to lafoodbank.org. If you book a reading now through May 4th, those donations will go to lafoodbank.org. $5 for every 30-minute reading booked and 60 and 90-minute reading booked. I'm going to donate $10 per reading. Today we are talking about not helping your divine masculine twin flame if you are a divine feminine twin flame. This topic has been on my roster for weeks now because here's the reason. The reason is I do a lot of readings, of course, as I just mentioned, but I do a lot of readings every single week. And I've heard similar things time and time again when it comes to the desire, the deep driving desire to help the divine masculine. What I really want to say to you from my life experience and just the experience of the dynamics of the twin flame couple in general, the actual last thing that you need to do, divine feminines, is to help your divine masculine. Now, there are many reasons behind this, but a lot of the reasons have to point toward their individual growth. Now, in my case, I never had a desire to help my divine masculine. In fact, he is a very capable man with honor and very intelligent, and he doesn't need help really with much in life. Now, the difference between helping and doing things with is really different. In my last relationship, which I do talk about in my book, and I talk about it a little bit in other videos, but that was a relationship during which I learned this concept of trying to help someone can backfire a lot. Because there's a very fine line between helping someone and enabling them. In enabling, we're talking about doing something that's going to further behavior that's not exactly taking responsibility for their own stuff. And that is why I'm very cautious in advising someone to actually help their twin flame or romantic partner in any relationship, because it's almost like that line crosses very quickly into enabling or into making the other party feel weakened. They don't feel empowered. They don't come out with their personal power if they need to be helped. Now, for the divine feminines that I counsel, for the divine feminines in this collective, honestly, it's coming from a good place. It usually is coming from a very loving place, a compassionate place, and it's coming from a willingness to nurture, which is a great quality of the divine feminine. It's the feminine energy is a nurturing energy. The feminine energy is a compassionate energy. The feminine energy is a loving and open and giving energy. Of course it is. And so I can understand the natural inclination to want to help, because the openness to nurturing is omnipresent with the feminine energy. The problem with that is that not only does it tend to move toward enabling, and in that case it does enable bad behavior, but it also tends toward mothering. Even if you're a divine feminine in a masculine body that tends to have more of the feminine energy, it can move toward that mothering concept. Now, what man or what masculine energy wants to be mothered by their lover? Probably not many. In a healthy relationship, at least, you want the relationship to remain this healthy balance. And when you help the divine masculine or the masculine energy, it really engenders this more unhealthy connection. Part of the lessons that the divine masculine collective is actually learning, they are learning to be more independent from these types of relationships that keep them in codependency or that keep them with these overpowering mother figures or women figures in their life. If you, as a divine feminine, comes along and offers more of that type of relationship, it will certainly repel them from you because that's not what's needed. What's needed is that they need to feel strong, they need to feel powerful, they need to feel independent, and they need to find their own inner drive to assert that independence, to assert that ultimate power in themselves. It's really finding that inner power for them. Another thing is that when you offer to help in a way that's not exactly helpful for their own self-esteem, it actually disempowers them. It makes you kind of above them in a way where it's almost like, well, you are actually broken and I need to fix you. You are actually broken and you don't have the capacity nor the capability to be able to stand on your own 2 feet on your own. And that's certainly what we don't want in a divine masculine, divine feminine connection. We want the divine masculine to rise up in their own personal power, to feel completely capable, to feel completely able to take care of themselves in every way, whether it be their health, their wealth, whether it be being assertive with other people and their own sense of personal power, or just finding a job on their own or getting rid of debt. So anything that has been hindering them because they haven't been able to find the sense of personal power, they truly need to find it on their own. It's almost like the kid who is constantly being bullied at school. The parent can certainly step in each and every time to help that child get rid of bullies, but in the end, when it comes down to that child's inner power, they are going to have the tools in their back pocket to deal not only with the bully that they're dealing with at that school at that particular time, but they're going to have the tools in their back pocket to be able to deal with bullies throughout life. Bullies don't just come disguised as some kid in the playground at lunchtime, but they also come disguised as bosses and spouses and girlfriends, boyfriends. They come disguised in a lot of different ways. So it's better if that mother helps the child develop the tools necessary in order to combat the bully on the playground than to consistently step in and help the child, because then the child becomes helpless without that mother's aid. I really want you guys to get a clear vision on what it means to help. And that doesn't mean that you are discompassionate. It doesn't mean that you're cold and cruel, but it does mean that perhaps if you find that they are crippled by certain things in their life, like for example, they have all this credit card debt and they can't get rid of it and they're not willing to do what it takes to get rid of it, such as, for example, getting a second job, moonlighting, working weekends, or filing bankruptcy if that's what they need to do, if it's completely beyond their control. Instead of like lending them money, giving them money, point them in the right direction. Here's where you can get some help. Or you know what? I saw online that Costco is hiring. You could perhaps get a weekend job to start paying down that debt. But they really need to move toward the solutions themselves for all of the problems that they're having that have become crippling in their lives. And it's not to you, divine feminines, to solve those problems for them. They need to actually solve those problems for themselves. And those are some of the hurdles that many of the divine masculines are actually overcoming. in order to rise in their own sense of personal power, to be able then to feel empowered enough to come back to you with this dynamic exchange of the energies. And that's really what is needed at this time. I hope this helped you understand the dynamics of what helping means versus enabling or mothering. And we really want to stay away from those codependent, enabling, and mothering behaviors when it comes to our divine masculines. We want them to be empowered. The best course of action is to step back, support with a smile, support with silence and a smile. And really, that's the best way that you can support them at this time. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Click on that bell, scroll up to all for all notifications, and please give the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames, and thank you for supporting this YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3, and you can also pledge your support on Patreon. We do a private party podcast just for patrons every single month. www.patreon.com/Michelle S. Fondin, and I will see you in the next video.